Wait a minute, Amy, how'd you know it was mine?
Because I know you.
All right, Mr. Mayor, if you can mute, that'll be wonderful.
I did. I didn't mute. Okay, you want me to mute? Oh, there it is. I found it.
Did everybody get tested, by the way? Did anybody get tested?
All right, well, we can hold off on that discussion, Sarah. So I'll call to order the May 2020 legislative meeting of the Media Borough Council. Welcome everyone who has joined us. This is the second time we are meeting, gathering remotely. We're doing so in compliance with our governor's shutdown order. You are welcome, however, to participate, even though you are remote from us and we are remote from you. You may do so in two ways. You may send us any comments or questions by way of email, and the address is comments@mediaborough.com. Again, it's comments@mediaborough.com. You may also leave a message on phone at 610-566-5210. And you have to press in extension 243. I'll repeat the number 610-566-5210, extension 243. I have a few comments I'd like to make before we go through our agenda. We have a few action items on our agenda. We will attack them as we attacked them last month. Rather than having one person making the motion and making a motion and then having it seconded, etc. There'll be one person, that will be I, who will read all of the motions, and we will work through the agenda accordingly. It's been 2 months since the governor's shutdown order, exactly 66 days ago. That shutdown order was necessitated by a public health crisis, the coronavirus pandemic. Over that time, we have walked a difficult road, but we've made good progress. We're still in the red phase, but we're moving closer to the day when our community will feel more like it was before the pandemic took hold. As last month, all of us would like to thank media residents and its business community. They've worked together while we've stayed apart. We have shown kindness to each other and concern for the community that we share. Special thanks to first responders, fire, police, the borough administrative staff, the highway and sanitation crews, our postal workers, healthcare workers, food industry workers, all of those who have stepped up to do the essential work that we depend on. I would like to address a recent development in our town. It is something that has played out in local news over the past couple of days. And I, as well as other members of council, have heard from concerned and, frankly, angry residents. Just yesterday, a business in media opened its doors for business as usual. This is a clear violation of the governor's shutdown order. In fact, I think that the business is flouting the governor's order knowingly. This business should obey the rules just as everyone else does. No one is above the law. More important, this reckless decision puts all of us at greater risk of a deadly virus. This includes the healthcare providers who have given us so much during these challenging times. We all understand that the coronavirus has hit hard, not only public health, but our economy. But we cannot revive our economy if we do not restore the public health. We cannot afford to walk back the progress we've made so far. Well, what can we do? Unfortunately, the borough's options are limited. We've thought about our options long and hard, and in fact, we will consider another option in executive session after our public meeting tonight. But each of us as individuals can help. You can continue to support local businesses that are legally open. You can purchase gift cards from the MBA website. You can make an expression of support to a business owner, whether by letter or telephone call. Let them know that you'll be there when it's time for us to move from red to yellow to green. And any business that is tempted to open before it's time, you should remember, trust lost is hard to regain. Media residents are smart. They know who stood by them during these times. Until times get better, let's stand together while we stand safely 6 feet apart. I'd like to move into our agenda. First item is the approval of the minutes. We had council meeting on April 16, and we have a set of meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve those minutes as submitted?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
If there's, is there any comment? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the April 16, 2020 council meeting minutes as submitted, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Before we move into the council items, I'm announcing that after tonight's public session, we will have executive session. We'll discuss two matters. One involving a property that the borough owns in Middletown Township, and the other concerning a potential litigation matter. On our agenda for action items, number one is a proclamation that I believe the mayor has already read earlier this month. It is for Bells Across Pennsylvania Day. Historically, the mayor announces his proclamations at these meetings. In this case, the event has already passed, but consistent with the historic precedent, we're announcing the proclamation that was made about Bells Across Pennsylvania Day. Item number two is a consideration of extending the food compost hauler agreement. Our compost plan is in its second year. The contract with the hauler is with Kitchen Harvest. That contract expires at the end of this month, or nearly so, May 30. At the present time, there are 220 participants in the program, and the cost per month to the borough is $3,795 per month. At the time that the governor issued his shutdown order, there are ongoing discussions with our Public Works Department about continuing the compost program. Those talks have not progressed since that time. The program itself has proved popular. It is an environmentally friendly initiative. And it is one that has some importance, not just in our borough, but also across the Commonwealth. In fact, the person who has helped initiate the program in Media Borough, Councilwoman Amy Johnson, she has been asked by the Pennsylvania Boroughs Association to write an article in response to demand across the Commonwealth from municipalities that are interested in a similar type program. But the issue before us tonight is whether we wish to continue extending the food compost hauler agreement. I make the motion that we do extend it on a month-to-month basis. And that means that unless there is a motion at a meeting to discontinue the program, it will by default continue. So is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion?
Just a point of clarification, Mr. President. When you say unless there's a motion made, I think what you really mean is a motion made, seconded, and voted in favor, correct?
That is correct. Motion made and passed.
Thank you. Okay.
Unless there's any other comment, I will call the question. All those in favor of considering extending the food compost hauling agreement with Kitchen Harvest to continue month to month under the same terms as at present, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay.
No.
The motion passes 6-1. Item number three is consideration to add new fire hydrants at 3 locations in the borough. The 3 locations are at the intersections of 5th and Monroe Street, 4th and Edgemont Streets, and 2nd and Edgemont Streets. Aqua is doing work this season with the existing pipeline, swapping it out. And there is an opportunity to add 3 fire hydrants in locations that both our fire chief and our fire marshal strongly recommend that we add to our existing fire hydrant network. Of course, in this world, nothing comes free. We do not have to pay for the fire hydrant, but we do have to pay rent, yearly rent for each fire hydrant. The rent per fire hydrant is $408 per year. So to add 3 fire hydrants to our system will add $1,224 per year to our rental costs. At present time, our rental costs are about $49,000. So the cost will go up from roughly $49,000 to a little bit over $50,000. So I make that in the form of a motion.
Second motion.
Is all right. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the fire chief and fire marshal's request to add 3 new fire hydrants at 5th and Monroe Streets, 4th and Edgemont Streets, and 2nd and Edgemont Streets, please say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Item number 4 is ratification of a letter of support for legislative action regarding unemployment compensation. This really is a letter that we are directing to higher levels of government that essentially would give greater flexibility for municipalities such as ours to pay into a solvency fund during these pandemic times. So I'm making the form of a motion that we ratify that letter of support. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of ratifying the letter of support for legislative action regarding unemployment compensation, please say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Item number 5 is really a mention of the borough benefits policy under Act 17, the State Act 17. Now, this really is the borough agreeing to follow as it's required by under state law to pay police who are either have COVID-19 or who are under quarantine for COVID-19. Mr. Scott, do we need to take any action on this aside from mentioning it?
I think you should vote on it just for purposes of publicizing it so that the staff know they're entitled to rely on this written document if a claim is submitted to them.
All right, then I'll make it in the form of a motion that the borough that we adopt the benefits policy that is in harmony with State Act 17 with regard to COVID-19 benefits policy for police officers.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Item number 6 is looks to be bigger than it actually is. It's not, we're not committing ourselves to do anything, but it is a resolution with some potential significant import. It's a resolution 2020-32. We title it the official intent to reimburse expenditures for project costs from the proceeds of certain debt obligations. At the present time, we have 5 projects that are either ongoing or soon will start that we are paying, or the plan is at present to pay out of our savings. Those projects are continuation and completion of the Olive Street Garage project, the purchase of a backhoe for the Public Works Department, parking kiosk or extension of our parking kiosk program to along State and certain side streets, the repair of the firehouse roof, and the construction of the police sally port, which is under construction, and the firehouse roof work began just the other day. These are all good projects. That's why it is that we green lighted them for this year. But in light of the uncertainties, the economic uncertainties that we all face, we thought it would be a good idea that we at least explored some flexibility in how we pay for these projects, including a borrowing. When you add up all of these 5 projects, they come close to $2 million, to exactly $1,786,000. We'd like to keep open the possibility that if it makes sense, we borrow money to help pay for these projects because the cost of our money right now is low. And we do not know what effect the shutdown, the ultimate effect the shutdown is going to have on us. So it's a way of maintaining flexibility. So I move that we adopt resolution 2020-32. Is there a second on the motion?
I'll second.
Is there discussion on the motion? All right, then all in favor of adopting resolution 2020-32, which will signal our official intent to reimburse expenditures for project costs from the proceeds of certain debt obligations, should we assume those debt obligations, please say aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Item number 7 is our customary payment of bills motion, although this month it's a little bit different because it's the payment of bills for 2 months, both March as well as April of this year. For March, the bills are from the general fund, $370,441.60. From the recreation fund, $5,767.02. And from the capital fund, $67,597.45 for a total of $443,806.07. I make that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of ratifying the payment of bills for the month of March 2020, please say aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously. For April, we made payments from the general fund of $161,396.80, from the recreation fund, $266.92, and from the capital fund, $694,848.51, for a total of $856,512.23. I make in the form of a motion that we ratify the payment of the borough's bills for April 2020. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of ratifying payment of the bills for April 2020, please say aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Now we have the opportunity for public comment. Karen Rapino, who is off camera, nonetheless has been fielding emails and telephone calls over the past number of days. Karen, do you have any questions or comments from members of the community?
Yes, I do, Mr. President. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you
All
well.
right. First one is from Eric Newby, 300 Church Street. He would like Borough Council to consider amending Borough Code to include more detailed guidelines and regulations for outdoor lighting. Second is from Nicole Friel, the owner of Karma Salon and Spa, and she is asking what Borough Council is doing about the illegal opening of Giovanni's Barbershop. Another one from Terry Rumsey, West 4th Street. He mentions that he's a 65-year-old borough resident with pre-existing medical conditions. He's asking the borough to pass an ordinance tonight to require all borough businesses to comply with any and all state public health orders put in place to prevent the spread of coronavirus in our community. He's also asking council to empower the Borough Board of Health to enforce the ordinance by ordering the closure of any businesses that do not comply after receiving a warning from the borough. Hold on, I got some on the phone now. I have a second one from Terry Rumsey of West 4th Street. Thank you for your strong and clear statement in support of public health at the beginning of the meeting. It is a refreshing change from the conflicting and chaotic leadership we are enduring from other quarters. I hope the borough will continue to stand strong and follow the science to guide our management of the pandemic. He has a second topic asking, has Sunoco responded to the borough's decision to renew the easement agreement in the property in Middletown? That actually was from Robin Lasterson, 342 West 4th Street. And that is all the comments for this evening.
All right, thank you, Karen. We'll try to go through those in the order in which Karen delivered them. The first one was from Mr. Newby, who I believe was on west of Franklin Street. And his concern, as I understand it, is with lighting at the back end of the Citizens Bank. And I think he has a legitimate concern. It is something that before the pandemic shutdown, both our Environmental Advisory Council as well as our Planning Commission were taking a look at. They have not made any recommendations to us as of yet, but to answer his question directly, that is something that the borough is looking at the committee level. I do understand that for the past several months that Jim Jeffrey has been working closely with both Mr. Newby as well as with the bank to see if there is a way to address both their concerns. One is for the glare of lighting and the other is for security that's provided to its customers and to passersby by that lighting. So I think that that will be addressed, but the speed with which we address it is going to be slower than normal because of the effects of the pandemic. Item number 2, I believe, was from the owner of Karma Salon. Do I remember that correctly?
Yes, that's correct.
I do know that on the day that the barbershop opened illegally, that is correct, that the borough, through its chief law enforcement officer, filed a complaint or the necessary notification to the state, and that at least one borough resident plans to do the same. And the borough has been working diligently on the pandemic matters. You can take a look at our website and see the amount of work that we have been doing in an effort to communicate guidelines and news to our residents. But as I said in my remarks, so we've looked at our options upside and downside, and we're really very limited in what it is that we can do. So we are trying our best to use persuasion as well as the established channels with the state to see that that the governor's order is properly enforced. Item number 3, I believe, was from Mr. Rumsey. He appears to be a fan of us tonight, and that is perfectly fine. And I think that he asked in particular about the possibility of the borough simply passing legislation or an ordinance or a ban against this type of activity. Let me look to our solicitor, Bob Scott, and see what advice he might have in that regard.
Well, a few thoughts. An ordinance cannot be enacted on the night it's proposed. It needs to be required. It needs to be advertised, and that advertisement needs to run for a certain number of days. So it normally process. It's just no way around that. It's not possible to at tonight's meeting. On some of the other points, the order that has been violated, and I appreciate President Hall's comments at the beginning. I think they were spot on. But that order is a state order, and we're looking to the state to have a mechanism of enforcement across the state. I think that the channels of going to the licensure board is the appropriate one. There are some other options, but they're rather weak. So.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Karen, I believe that there's more than one question that was posed by way of the email from Mr. Rumsey.
Yes, and actually, I made a mistake there. That the last part is from Robin Lasherson, West 4th Street. Sunoco responded to the borough's decision to renew the easement agreement on the property in Middletown.
So I might have to defer to our solicitor
Yeah,
about.
I'll take that. Yeah, Sunoco has sent a letter proposing a financial arrangement, which is what we will be discussing in executive session tonight.
Okay, then I think, Karen, we got into the telephone calls. I believe the first one that you mentioned to us was from Mr. Rumsey, and now we're really scratching deep into my memory banks. If you wouldn't mind repeating it.
It was thanking you for your strong and clear statement in support of public health at the beginning of the meeting.
All right. And then I believe that Ms. Lasserson had a question that was the last of the communications we received tonight.
That's what we just discussed about
Yeah,
Sunoco.
that was the Sunoco easement.
All right, very good. All right then. Since there's no other public comment, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there?
Oh, can I interrupt? I have a from Robin Lasherson again. Could you clarify? Oh, okay, never mind. She's asking me to clarify the thank you, and the question about Sunoco was from her and not from Terry.
Okay.
Okay.
All righty. So I make a motion to adjourn. We don't need a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. We will adjourn to executive set. And I actually didn't count the votes. Are we all in agreement to adjourn into executive?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, folks. Thank you for joining us tonight. Please stay safe.
Stay safe. Thank you.
Yeah.